Hi storytellers, I'm Story Seller Jason Hakes. Welcome to Sell Your Story. In this video, I'll share 2 rare tips on how to write a better book description like this one for Monsters Reclaimed, The Ruthless Dark Book 2, a paranormal romance by L.J. Swallow, scheduled for release May 2022. I'm sharing this book description with you because it allows me to share these tips that I never thought I was going to be able to share with you guys before. The reason why, it's a different kind of description than the ones I've done in the previous videos. So like and subscribe, and let's get started. I'll go ahead and read it to you. Monsters Reclaimed is the second book in the Ruthless Dark series. If you like scorching, hot, paranormal romance with dominant and possessive monster heroes, a heroine who's strong enough to bring them to their knees, and a world where she doesn't need to choose, scroll up and pre-order today. Note, although the heroes are monstrous, all sexual encounters in the series are fully consensual. Now, normally when I do a description, there's a full story summary and a hook in there and all that good stuff. This one's not like that. Why is that? Well, it's because it's doing the thing that I think is so great that you might want to consider. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, use a teaser book description. This is a teaser book description. It doesn't have a hook. It doesn't have the story summary. It's just what is the value add paragraph. I've talked about value adds in some previous videos. That's where you talk about some of the concepts and themes and that kind of thing. You can use your value add paragraph from the previous book to talk about this new one. And that's fantastic because that also means you can start advertising a book sooner without having the full description written. And that's a great benefit for you. If you have a hard time with your descriptions, just put the value add out from the last book, if it was book 1 in the series. Then you can write the description later, the full description. Or I'd help you. Tune in for the end of the video, I'll talk about it. Also, it allows you during your book launch to actually make the debut of the full description something of interest. So rather than just put the description out there and then you're kind of like, well, what else do I have to do? Put out the teaser description, and then later you can hype the release of the full description. So this is adding another chapter to your launch sequence, which is fantastic. And it doesn't cost you anything. All you're doing is withholding a little bit of that plot summary, and then you'll give that to them later. So this way they think about you more times. They think about your book launch more often than just the once if you gave them everything that first time. So let's move on to tip number 2. Overcome objections. In marketing copywriting, sometimes you have to understand that there will be assumptions or doubts that shoppers will have about your product. They're going to think that there's a catch, or they're going to think something else. Overcoming objections means flat out saying in the ad that this product will not do this, or that in order for this to work, you do not have to do these things, which you might have to do with other kinds of products. In this case, I'm really glad that the description says, note, although the heroes are monstrous, all sexual encounters in the series are fully consensual. Here's why this is important. We have words like dominant and possessive, and they're monsters. You could assume that they won't respect personal boundaries, kind of like how normally monsters don't respect a person's personal boundaries when they rip their throat out. Well, good news. When it comes to the paranormal romance with monsters, they completely are into respect and consent. Anyone who's looking for a paranormal romance where there's nothing but consent, despite the description of the monsters, now they know it's been called out. They're overcoming objections. Objections may not be in the forefront of the brain, but they could be somewhere in there. And when you are in tune with that and you know what your readership wants, you can call out those objections, you can overcome them, and then everyone moves more comfortably into making the buying decision. So if you have a book that has certain kinds of themes or stories or that kind of thing, and you want to make sure people understand, yes, it's like this, but it's not like that, then call it out in your description and overcome objections. I hope those tips help you sell your story in your book description. Like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos that help you sell your story. And for my hands-on help with your book descriptions, click the link in the video description to go to my website, isellyourstory.net. .com was taken. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.